G'day guys, what's cracking? It's Ralph here and welcome to Hobart. It's very, very chilly. I have 4 layers on and a beanie and even some thermal underwear if you're really, really interested in that. A couple of days ago we flew down from the Gold Coast for a bit of a holiday and Lyndall's doing a work thing. So we jumped in a plane from where I normally live and travelled 2.5 hours south down to a state of Australia called Tasmania, even though my boy on the plane asked people, he was having a chat to some Tasmanians and said, oh, well, in Australia, and I'm like, oh, hey, no, they're still part of Australia. Anyway, the capital of Tasmania is Hobart, and this is where we are, and tonight we went out to shoot the Southern Aurora. Look! Yeah, it was useless, waste of time. So what I thought I'd do is take you with me as I take a few different night shots of the city from some different angles. And this is the main bridge that leads from the mainland across the harbour into Hobart, which is it's beautiful and stunning. And so we're going to get into that tonight. Thanks for joining and keep watching. If you'd like to subscribe and like, you know the drill. And let's get into it. Alright, so here's the bridge behind me, and what I've done is I put a 20mm on of travelling so I don't take a lot of ranges of lens. It's got a 20mm which goes down to 1.8, and what I've decided to do is just shoot with the bridge smack bang in the centre of the shot. So it's a very easy symmetrical composition. The reason for that is I'm going to crop it to a pano, and then it's going to that's going to be it. So you've got a bit of reflection of the light in the sky. You can see that, a bit of reflection in the water. It's a bit muddy and a Gaussian blur, but it's just how it is. What I do is I need to focus in on the bridge, right? So I do 2 things there. I zoom in as much as I can with my little plus button here, which gives me this sort of look, and then you'll notice it's really bright. And so what you do, because you've got it on live view, is I take down the exposure, and that helps me use manual focus to then really make sure these are sharp, right? So I take it off autofocus, put it on manual focus, and then if you just look at this, see it goes blurry, and I can just adjust it till it's just bang on sharp. Tuck the old ears in. What I love about this shot is because of the composition, it feels like I'm like bang on in front of the actual bridge, and because of that there's a casino right under the very centre of the bridge on the other side, and so that makes this composition kind of like really symmetrical and work and interesting and draws you in. Now the other thing is I'm shooting on 20mm, which is this size, and I'm now going to put my 24-70 on, and I'm going to shoot and crop it in so you can see, like, it just brings more focus to the bridge, because I feel like the bridge gets kind of lost in the feel of it all, because there's not a great deal of colour in the shot. I wish there were, but there just isn't. What I've decided to do is I'm underexposing by a whole stop and a third, because the lights are so far away, and when they get that far away it's easy for them to blow out and to blur. And so I've focused on the casino, which is right in front, so I've made my focus really pin sharp on the casino, and then what I've done is underexposed by a stop and a third, and it's made the sharpness of those lights really accentuate and become sharper than it was otherwise. And then if you just if you take that shot and you take an exposure where you're actually overexposing, and I use the ISO in this particular instance to overexpose, you get these epic reflections in the water and in the clouds. So I bung those 2 together and get this. So I hope these thoughts have helped, and we're going to move locations now. So we moved on from where we were, and as we were driving to where we were going to go, we bumped into this right under the bridge. So you just come through the car park entrance, and here you are under the bridge. So I'm going to use those previous settings and things that I learned and things that I shared with you to shoot a portrait. So I'm shooting vertically of this, and I really love those oranges in the middle, and so when I edit it I might accentuate the orange and add a bit of blue to it, create a really beautiful effect. But it's also, and the bridge fades away into the distance, and so I've got this right here on the edge of my frame, and the long exposure of course will smooth out all the water, and this is what that shot looks like. And the beauty of this shot is that I get some foreground, which makes it look just so much better. Love that. And the lights here, the lights that get closer and closer to us, get some cool sunburst effect, some light burst out of them. It recedes in its effectiveness as we go back, but I've cranked up, or rather down, the aperture to make the aperture as wide as possible, which causes a light diffraction, which is what gives us these cool things of really intense light. And so, so here is my finished, polished work. We're up against it now. I feel like there's a storm coming in. It's starting to spit and looking a bit filthy. And these people are sort of chilling here, like in the utes and stuff. That's a pickup for those of you in the States. And I feel like, oh, hang on, I've got to take this. There's a cool boat coming through. Please don't finish halfway through this. Please hold, hold, hold. Oh, bugger, it didn't hold. Oh, that's frustrating. The exposure finished halfway through the shot. So the tugboat, which appeared out of nowhere, I didn't see it coming, is like going under there, and it's into the bridge, and it stops. And as I was saying, like, I think we've imposed upon these people's, like, I don't know what they're doing in their cars, but yeah, a couple have already left really quite angrily, like putting the foot down. So we might wrap things up here and go somewhere else. So I walked a bit further around the corner, and we get this view. And what's cool about this view is you have reflections from the go lights and the stop lights that are in the water, and you have these boats nestled. And so what I've done is I've taken a range of shots from different locations, because I can move a few meters and it changes the composition quite dramatically because of what's in the foreground. And I also need to make sure I overexpose rather than underexpose, because this is what an overexposed photo looks like, this is what an underexposed photo looks like, and it's crap. So crank up everything. I ummed about whether I should bring a torch or a really strong light on this trip, and I decided not to. And right now would have been the perfect opportunity, because I could have used that to light these boats up and wake the people up, and so they come out, be really angry, and look like they're waving in the photo. But alas, there's no light to do that, and this little light on here is simply not strong enough. Well, have a look. My latest edition has come through. So that's pretty cool, I don't mind that, but you see the boat creates all that shadow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing round to my left and see if I can better compose that, and then I'm going to swing back to the right, and here's those images, and you can tell me which one you prefer. Check this out, right? This is the car, and there's my camera. It's literally 2.5 meters from the car, and I've taken this shot, and I just wanted to say that sometimes it just pays to be super lazy and just take a couple of steps rather than go for a hike. Often it doesn't, but sometimes there it is. We're going to move on to somewhere else now. So we've come down here. The lookout's called, I can't remember, but it's pretty rubbish, just like, so I did what I could. This is what I got. No, I'm just drinking. This is the one. I did tell you it wasn't that good. We're gonna go to one last place, get a look right down the harbour, and I'm probably gonna shift my 70 to 200 to really boom, zoom in and see if we can pop the shot. Pop the shot. Sounded cool in my head. Well, that last one was a bit of a bust, so we turned up and there was just nothing new worth shooting, and the angle I'd hoped for displayed not a lot at all. But I hope you've enjoyed coming on this little bit of an adventure, seeing a bit of Hobart from a bit of a different angle, and also that bridge, which name is... Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you enjoyed the vid, subscribe, share it around, like this video, as the saying goes, and I'll see ya in the next one. Bye. Yeah, that's right. I should know its name. Should have done that research. Apologies.